Another way that we can try and deny meaningful lever control to buy us a little bit of time or sometimes completely shut things down is by creating a load-bearing frame. So if I, for some reason, can't extend my leg, or extending my leg isn't really going to help me in this situation, like say against the reap position in which I'm actually going to hurt my knee by trying to extend my leg, putting my foot onto the ground and trying to lift my hips slightly to create a load-bearing frame in which my foot is now bearing a larger part of my weight is going to be very helpful. So here, if Kevin puts me into a reap and crosses over here and triangles his legs, my leg is forced internally rotated now. This is why the reap gets a bad rep for being dangerous. I'm no risk of being injured right now, unless I'm an idiot and one, turn against it, compounding the lock, which isn't necessarily any kind of lock to do with him having lever control, but this still puts pressure into my knee and puts tension, especially from my hip and my oblique for me, just based on my own flexibility. So turning like this, I'm gonna hurt myself. Or if I extend my leg right now, even if he's not holding on to it, it's putting a lot of pressure into the side of my knee because I'm trying to fight Kevin, who's in a very strong alignment, by externally rotating my foot against it. I'm in bad alignment. This is how I hurt myself. So if I stay here and I let my knee get turned this much, I screwed up a few steps, so I can't extend my leg. What I can do is I can bring my foot in and I can try and put my foot down into the ground aggressively here. If I can lift my hips now, it doesn't buy me a lot of time, but here if Kevin tries to apply that toe hold now, he's unable to fully bend my leg. Even if he wraps around, try and get that toe hold here and go for finishing it. Here he's trying to rotate it. I can fight it a bit because I'm putting weight into my leg. Here I'll even try and lift more. It buys me time. Good guys are still gonna submit you here. You're not gonna just win by doing this. But by making my leg heavy, I have a better chance. I can also, it's gonna depend on where you are, but like I said, creating space is what he wants to be able to get a toe hold. So say, for some reason, toe holds are allowed, but heel hooks are not allowed, depending on the rule set. If my foot is in close to his body and he's trying to grab up with my toes and pull it out, try and go for a toe hold, Kevin. I'm just gonna keep my foot closer to his body. If it's out here, look at that. Super easy, like giving candy to a baby. So here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Taking candy from a baby. I don't know. I don't try and hang out around babies ever. So he tried to grab it. I'm keeping it super close to his body. You need that space to have that range of motion. This is why a heel hook, I'm gonna eat that immediately. So there's a risk if both are in play. But here, if he's pushing my toes out and he's already got this, I'm putting weight into the ground to load this. Now I have bought myself a little more time. What I need to start looking at doing from here is opening up this leg. What I am looking at doing is falling back to my shoulders and using my arms as frames here at the knee and down here at the foot on the other side of my leg so that I can push him away and hopefully put my foot on top of his shin here. What I'm looking at doing is pushing this away. That starts to create internal rotation of his leg and starts opening up this position. So that now if he starts trying to apply this toe hold, I can now start extracting my knee and rotating myself. And now that my knee's out, regardless of what happens here, I can now rotate freely any direction I want because I've cleared that knee line. So as he is reaped my leg, if it is up in the air here, floating, it's way too easy for him to catch. So as soon as he's applying this, I'm gonna try and bring this foot closer to my body if it's already out away from his body and put weight into the ground. Now from here, I have to deal with this. I can't do this with my back up in the air because I don't have any proper base behind me. I'm weak here. Keep that nice and tight, Kevin. If I try and do this, it's just my arms. Here, I can at least start incorporating my shoulders and my back a bit more because I now have the floor behind me, and I can also do it with my arms more fully extended. So here, keep that really tight, Kevin. Here, I can start to access this leg in any way, whether it's just the ankle, toes here like your own toe hold kind of grip, or out here like this to create more external rotation here down at the ankle. Bring this foot over. You see some people, depending on flexibility, where I can bring my shin over in front. If you can't bring your knee high enough to place it here to be able to push this, I need to create some space here. And even better, if you're able to, can I get my foot on top of this knee like this and push it here? That's gonna give me a lot more range of motion. You can see how now my knee's free. I'm still not in a great position. I'm gonna have to be worried about guys moving into like bear trap positions, attacking my back and stuff, that if I come up here, he's gonna obviously have follow-ups. But I've extracted my knee. I've been able to keep myself safe. The reap it's a real pain in the ass to be able to defend. It's not something that people are able to control, especially when sweaty, control the knee so tightly that they're able to devastatingly break somebody's joint, whether it's the ankle or the knee. So we don't see it still a lot at the higher level. A lot of people typically still go for positions like the 411, but it's still a big problem, and it's one that forces our leg bent in a position that we're unable to look at putting on, say, a boot and extending in this circumstance. Another position would be, say, the weak side of standard ashy or the weak side of outside ashy. If we're on this side and Kevin is able to start attacking here, well, even here where he's on the strong side, if I can put weight into my foot, this is also going to help me generate base, and you can see how now I can mobilize my hips. So as Kevin's trying to go for this toe hold, I'm able to start freeing my hips and moving immediately. So it's not a bad idea if I can't hide my heel completely. So my goal is to turn my foot and put my toes in base like this. This will still allow me the ability to start rotating myself and create this tripod so I can mobilize my hips. If he does try and start to rotate me this direction, I'm gonna have to just play with what I have, and I'm gonna have to put my foot on the ground like this. So now apply that toe hold, Kevin. I try and see my knee as it gets over top of my foot. I start putting the boot back on. It's very strong. Finish it. Can't from here. Out here though, finish it. It ends up bending me because my weight is sitting further back here on my hands. So I need to make sure in this circumstance, I'm putting weight here. If we are turned further like this is where it's dangerous. My foot is off the ground. So as he's trying to apply that toe hold before it gets too late, because I don't want to compound that lock, I'm putting my heel down to the mat. So he tries to take this and finish it. I have to free my hip, and then I can start to look to extract the knee and escape from this position. So if you are unable to extend your leg, clearing the knee line, breaking any kind of meaningful lever control that he has of his leg, find ways that you can work with the situation that you have and create load-bearing frames by basing your feet into the ground.